Hey guys, let's give it a couple minutes. Hope everybody's doing great. My name's Adam with Master Paw, and you guys are going to learn a lot of cool stuff today. It's going to be at least, 40 to an hour. I'm going to teach you guys a lot of stuff. I'm going to teach you guys how to train your dog my way. So let's go right into it. So this is how I train. My name's Adam with Master Paw. Usually when we get a dog, it is, they're cute. We have the best intentions. We want them to be the best. So we start taking them to a group class. They start understanding how to, do sit down, stay by following a treat. But what we find out is that this dog is not as easy as we think. And just because a dog listens in your house without any distractions, when people come over or when the distractions are too high, your dog doesn't listen at all. In fact, a lot of dogs won't even listen to treats at that time because they're way too excited, right? So here are some of the things that you're going to learn today. I'm going to cover a lot, so you guys are in store for a really good time. So, we're going to start by teaching the 3 words that you need to talk dog. What exactly is dog training? How do you do it? How can we, talk our dog through different situations, establish patterns? How to stop jumping, pulling, and barking. My secrets to get a dog to focus beyond anything, no matter where you're at. I'm going to give you guys one technique that's going to stop leash pulling in about 2 minutes and have your dog follow your lead. I'm going to tell you guys the 8 commands that you guys need to have so that you have a very good trained dog and a lot more. So let's get right into it. And if you guys stay till the end, I'm going to give you guys a cool special report. I'm going to give you guys a step-by-step guide in what I do every day for a 2-week board and train. This is where I take in a dog and I train it for the owners. And this normally costs $3,000, but I'm going to actually send it to you guys free. You guys will have access to it right at the end of the course, okay? So stay till the end. So, when you start dog training or learning to dog train, you do a couple different things, right? You start watching YouTube videos, which, it's videos here and there. It's not a step-by-step process, and, a lot of people are teaching things that only work for their dog, and that doesn't mean that's going to work for your dog, right? Or you start learning from books, which is a lot more theory than actual practicality. You have to learn for, the operant conditioning and all that type of stuff. Then you get into like group classes where you learn that group classes, they're not the best. They're only there to teach the dog to basically follow a treat and not teach you at your home. The next thing you could do is board and trains, right? But board and trains are 2 weeks without your dog, and it's usually $1,500 to $3,000 are my board and trains. And at the same time, you haven't learned what you need to learn, which most of the time you need to learn first, and then the dog will follow. So, what is dog training? Guys, dog training is teaching the dog what you want versus what you don't want, putting them into different positions by luring them, naming it with a word, any word, and then rewarding it. Now, there's different techniques that you need to learn to go beyond distractions, and every dog is different, so you need to learn different techniques. By the end of the day, your dog should be able to communicate with you with treats and without. So who am I and why should you be listening to me? So I'm an author. I wrote a book. It's on Amazon. I'm YouTube famous. So are my dogs. I have millions of views online. I have customers from around the world. I'm intuitive, so basically I can feel dogs on an empath level, and I have, customers all over the world. My dogs skateboard. They do crazy tricks. My dog Rocky is a super dog. He's known all over the world. I do trick training with him. I do performances with him at hospitals. At the end of the day, guys, I understand how to not only train a dog, but how to teach you how to get that same thing. Because at the end of the day, If you don't understand, if you don't train yourself first, then the dog will never learn. And so by doing in-home dog training with a lot of different dogs and a lot of different people, I've come up with what works and what doesn't work, and that's what I want to show you today. So how are we going to start talking to our dog? So we're going to use a 3-word system, okay? The first word that we're going to use is yes, and it's going to substitute a clicker. So every single time the dog does what you want, sit, you're going to say yes. Down, yes. Yes is the marker. So first mark the behavior, then give the treat, okay? The reason why you don't want to use clickers is because you're alienating yourself from your dog. I want to teach you how to build resonance or a relationship with your voice, okay? So the first word is yes. Now, the next word is the word that we use to tell the dog, keep doing what you're doing, the reward is coming. You guys work for a paycheck, right? How long would you work without getting paid, or how long would you work without the right paycheck? And that's the same thing with dogs. If we want to be able to reward our dog, but not give it treats all the time, we're going to say good. So here's a couple ways that we can use it. So we can say good without using treats. We can say good to keep duration. So I could be like, sit, good, good, and then a yes, right? Or I can do multiple commands. Sit, down, stand, left, right, good, good, yes. By marking the behavior, good, good job, good. Now we're building workability. Now the dog doesn't lose focus. Now it keeps understanding, oh wait, when he's saying good, that's going to lead to an ultimate yes. So you want to start off with yeses first, and then you want to prolong it, and this is how to get off treats, by using a lot more goods than yeses. And the last word that we're going to use is And so we have good, we have yes. Is basically telling the dog, no, I don't like what you're doing. So, if we say sit and it goes into a sit down, we say, I don't like that. When you say sit, and then yes, and then pay them when they have it correct. Is a great word to just tell them, try again. So now we have a perfect way of communicating with their dog. We have yes whenever we want to give treats. We have good whenever we want to mark the behavior. Good, good job, good. Yes, whenever they don't have something right. We have right? So we're going to start off everything with treats. And there's something that you should know about treats. There's different values of treats. And that depends on the distraction value or what you want the dog to do. So where a dog might listen to you with less smelly treats, which is basic treats inside your house, you might need something more. Like if you want to do, skateboarding or high trick value, or you need to get through a lot of distraction value, then you can use cheese or hot dogs. Because it ultimately gets to distractions. Distractions are a part of life. And although you should teach everything without distractions, teach it without, in 4 walls, without anything, so that your dog understands it, distractions will help you proof behavior. So at first you want to start off with no distractions, lower distractions, and then go to higher distractions. Because dogs learn in pictures. Just because a dog does good in your room or in your house, that doesn't mean that they do good on the outside in the block or at the pet store. You want to train everywhere so that your dog really understands the commands everywhere. And if you need to, you can use higher value treats. And at the end of the day, guys, we're trying to create automatic dogs. Just like habits are very powerful for us, it's so powerful for dogs. So if we can create the right patterns and show them the dog these different patterns in different pictures in different situations, then the dog's going to become automatic. Like if we put the food down and we want the dog to look at us before being released, we could teach that. If we wanted them to teach them to sit every single time that we stop on our walks, we can create automatic sits. We can create automatic sits at doorways, house door, car door, fences, whatever, so that they stop, look at us, and then they're able to go. Because just because a door is open means absolutely nothing. But it's our job to create those patterns through consistency over and over in a lot of different places so the dog just gets it and we get a perfect dog. So everything starts off, every command, every trick starts off with a lure. What that means is that the dog is following the treat. It's the same thing as like a carrot in front of a horse. It's following the reward. But what we want to do is we want to lure and then name it. So if we want to say sit, we're going to lure them around. We're going to put the treat over their head. We're going to say sit. And then as soon as they do, we're going to say yes, and we're going to reward it. Now, something really important, this is something that you'll probably never get out of in a group class, especially at first, is removing the lure. So at first, they're taught to smell the hand. What I'm saying is this, is after your dog already understands the command, you want to still give signals with the same type of gestures with your hand, but don't have the treat in that hand, because we don't want the dog smelling. We want the dog understanding, okay? So here's how to, here's the 8 commands that your dog should know so that you can talk them through different situations and create those patterns. And what it is heel means walk by my side, which is a very nice thing, you know, for a structured heel so that the dog is very in tune with you, so that I can take the dog to the vet, to the pet store, and it's just right on my side. You have sit, which is a great command for, you know, a passive command like down. If I'm meeting with my neighbors or somebody else, I'm going to put the dog in a sit or a down. Or if people come over, I want to put them in a sit. Remember, we want to pattern what we want and get rid of what we don't want. Next is stay. Just stay right there. Next is come. Hey, come over here. That's a very important one, right? Next is leave it. Leave that squirrel. Leave that smell. Leave that other dog. And then finally, look or focus, because where the eyes are, the mind is. So do you want your dog to follow you instead of pulling you? Here's one of the best techniques that I can show you, and it's called reverse direction. You want to show the dog that it's your walk, not theirs. So, you know, you can start the dog off on the left-hand side. You can say heel. And when the dog goes in front of you, which is pretty much going to be immediately, you want to let the dog kind of go, and you want to stop. And you want to catch a correction. You want to say heel and then change direction, right to the right. You're basically doing an about right face turn. So if the dog's on your left, it's going on its merry way. You're going to stop. You're going to cause a correction with the collar. Doesn't need to be painful. It's just teaching the dog, hey, pay attention, so that every single time that you say heel, the dog knows up. It's changing direction. Now, when your dog is following your lead, and if you'll see this after 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 reverse direction changes, now you got the dog. It understands that, wait, when it's not paying attention, or it just, basically catches a correction because it just bolts, catches the end of the leash, and then you're changing direction. Another thing that you could do is just stop. The biggest thing, guys, is make sure that the dog understands that it's your walk, not theirs. So if they keep wanting to pull, stop, and then change direction. The biggest thing is just stopping and then changing direction. After that, once your dog is going to the left, go to the right. And just do the opposite of what the dog wants to do. The biggest thing that's going to help you guys out, or that I've seen help out so many dogs, is rules and boundaries. Here's the thing, a lot of people call me when their dogs are like 3 to 5 years old, and the reason being is that the dogs start getting aggressive, the dogs stop listening, and it's because we stop doing rules and boundaries, stopping at the door, making the dog stop, or, just down stay sometimes, waiting for the dog to wait and give us permission or look at us before eating the food. All these different things, rules and boundaries. Just like we have rules and boundaries in our life, rules and boundaries gives us a really good dog. It understands life. It understands heel. It understands, sit down, stay. It understands to wait at the door, to wait for food. It can't just bolt out. All these things are really important. If you start losing this, then the dog kind of starts getting crazy. And to get that back, again, start establishing rules and boundaries. So here's some of the tools that I use, and all of this stuff is deeply covered into the course. I'm just giving you guys just an objective view so that you can start to understand everything that you need to get the dog that you wanted. If you guys think about it, I charge at least $145 per hour. I'm giving you guys so much more than that. And remember, I'm going to give you guys my schedule so that you can do your own board and train if you guys want. But the course is where it's at, because all of these things are great, but sometimes you need more help. And with the video course, you're getting a step-by-step guide that's going to help you get through every single part. From which leash to use, which collar, how to give treats, the treat pouches, everything, okay? And the different collars that you're probably used to seeing is a harness, a flat collar, a star mark, and a pinch collar. You might think that the pinch collar is the worst, but all dogs are different, and at the end of the day, every tool can be used the right way and the wrong way. It's my job to teach you how to do it the right way. It's more about using these things like a tap on the shoulder versus a smack on the butt, where the dog understands communication versus pain. Now, with a harness, you're never going to get a dog to follow your lead. The reason being is that it's opposition reflex, and that's why they put it on snow dogs. As soon as they feel that pressure, their natural inclination is to pull, so you're not going to get it. And with a flat collar, you're basically choking out the dog because there's no give. The two collars on the bottom are a much better alternative. Every dog is different. Every dog responds to a pinch. Not all dogs respond to a star mark. With a pinch collar, you want to use the right one, and you want to also use it with 2 fingers. It's not about using them, meanly. I'm going to fix this. No, it's actually, remember that tap on the shoulder. Good. And then doing a hands-on approach as well, which I teach in the course. So the next thing that I want to teach you guys is crating. Crating is very important for the dog to understand. It's their house. And if you never use it as punishment, but like a timeout or just a place where they could chill out, then they're going to love this place. So how to do it is grab treats, leave the door open, throw a treat in there, say house, crate, let them go in there, okay? Then close the door, feed them through it, let them out. Good job, nice. Now they know house, okay? What you guys want to do is, at first, is you want to have them on leash so that if they don't go on, if they don't want to go, you can make them, because at the end of the day, we want to create a pattern. If you create the wrong pattern, they're never going to go in there, okay? The next thing is you guys want to make this thing really positive. So don't just leave the dog in the cage and then leave, because then they're going to create the association of every single time that this person puts me in the crate, they're leaving. Best thing to do is just to leave the door open so they can go in and out as they please. And then when you leave, at first, have them in on a Kong or focus in on something else so that they don't even see you leaving. And then, work on leaving them in there longer and longer. This is going to help you guys out of so many different behaviors like potty training or destruction. If you can't catch them in the act, then again, you're creating way too much bad habits that later on that you have to fix, and timing is critical. If you don't time it, if you don't get it perfectly at that right instance, then you're not going to get to them. And so how do you potty train your dog? So, you definitely want to use the cage at first because they don't want to pee in their cage. And that's most dogs, like 9 out of 10. If they do, use the divider so that it's even smaller so that they can barely, just move around so that, again, they don't pee in there. At first, if your dog pees in bedding, then take out the bedding. If they ruin the bed, a doggy bed, like something soft, take it out. Then they don't have it. You're just going to spend way too much money on all this stuff for no reason. And when you're not able to supervise your dog, they should be in the cage, and then what you're going to do is when they're outside, you're going to grab treats. You're going to say, when they're going pee, go pee. Yay, yes, get really excited about it. The more excited you guys are, and if they mean it, then they're going to be like, wait, what did I do? If you catch them going inside your house, you say, nope, and you go and you take them where you want to pee, or if they want to go poo, okay? So when you do that, you can also teach them to go pee in one spot. Take them on a leash, go to one spot, wait for it, say go pee. As soon as they do, yes, go pee in the spot. Good, go pee in the spot, yes. Now your whole grass won't get ruined, and now, your dog has a specific spot, your grass is clean. They can go poop wherever they want, but pee, just basically destroys your backyard. So the different types of leashes. This is a lot of information. So leashes are important. Leashes is how you should be able to train your dog, because at first they should be on a leash so that you can, if they go away from you, you can guide them in. If people are coming over and their job and your dog is naturally wanting to jump on them, then how are you going to tell them to stop, or how would you tell them to sit? Well, you need to have them on access on leash. Your go-to leash is going to be a 6-foot leather leash. That's the one that I recommend. Leather is the best. It's durable. It'll last you 5-10 years, and the best ones actually get softer. They get easier. And so you're going to need something a little bit longer as well for distance, or for when your dog is outside to practice longer comes. You want a longer leash. I'd start off with a 15 or 20 foot, and you can go on to a 30 foot. You can go with nylon, and then you can have something a little bit, stronger, a little bit beefier at first, because if the dog goes, you want to be able to, grab it. Or later on, once the dog's better, then you want to have it actually lighter, so that the dog doesn't really understand that it's even on, but that you can control it. Because if the dog is outside, you should have them on a leash, like a 15-foot nylon leash, so that if the dog doesn't come when you ask, come, then you can guide them in with the leash. They don't have to be tied up by any means, but it's a really good thing to be able to build the right habit of come, right? And then the last leash we're going to talk about is little training tabs. They're little training leashes that you can put on your dog so that you have access to the collar. If you don't have access to the collar, because remember, timing is really, really critical at that specific time where you want to correct the dog or communicate with them, right? Then you're not going to be able to without something. This gives you accessibility to be able to communicate with your dog. So the next part we're going to mention is how to greet dogs. And this is going to be a struggle for most dog owners. What we don't want to create is the pattern of losing their mind or helping them lose their mind when we come home. So when you get home, hopefully your dog is in a cage. If not, if it understands freedom and it's good and it's not destroying your house, cool. But you don't want to come in and be very excited and be like, oh my God, hello, how are you doing? And geek them out of state, because then what you're doing is you're creating a pattern of that dog waiting all day long for you to get home to lose its mind. It's the same thing with you want to go for a walk? You want to go for a walk? Guys, you lost that dog before you even got started. You're building a crazy dog before you even go for a walk. Guys, stop. Leave it. Dogs. And so on the greeting, you guys want to, at first be calm, ignore your dog, go grab a piece of mail, go drink some water, and then say hello to your dogs very calmly. And, at first what you guys want to do with other people is have them on leash, so that they don't think that, because the excitement of a new person, especially if the new person's like, oh my God, right? Then that's way too much. So have them on a leash, teach them that their job is to sit. So let's talk about how to stop jumping, because that's going to be an important one. Obviously, they don't understand no jump, but they do understand sit by now, right? So by doing this, by doing a behavior or creating the behavior of every single time they see people, their job is to sit, then now you're creating that pattern. Now, what do we do when the dog is jumping up on us? What we want to do is we want to say, no jump, and then as soon as their 4 paws hit the floor, yes, all right? And more and more, you're going to teach them that that's unacceptable behavior. You can also, again, keep them on a leash and correct that behavior. No, and then correct them. Again, corrections are not meant to be painful. It's more communication. You're just teaching your dog what you want. And so what you want to do, a really good way, is right when you see your dog, sit, hey buddy, and then as soon as it gets up, remove yourself or remove the other people, reset and start again. The biggest thing, guys, is try not to be so exciting and waving your hands up high. You don't want to wave your hand down low either, because you're basically enticing the dog to come up. Wait for your dog to, come up to you just calmly, and then just pet them on the side. Create that pattern so that they're more in tune to be relaxed on petting than all crazy and chaotic. And so how you're going to build all this is through consistency. So, every single time that you go for a walk and you stop, you say sit. Every single time that you give your dog food, you make them look at you, and then you release them into their food. Same thing with doorways. Consistency is going to help you build the automatic dog that you're looking for. So the next part is energy. If you don't believe in energy, you should. I mean, obviously you even believe in it. It's an example like this. Let's say that a salesperson comes into your house and you could just tell that they don't have your best interest at heart, right? And so you kind of got this weird spidey sense. You're like, I don't believe this guy because they're timid and they're shy. But if somebody came in and they were going to sell you something, provide something, offer you something of value, like brand new windows because they have a rebate or something like that, and they were very confident about it, and you picked up on that confidence, you would buy those windows if it was a good deal or whatever. You know what I mean. Basically, dogs feel our energy. So, be real with your dog. Like this process. Love dog training, and they will too. Like, you got to be enthusiastic about it. If you're more fun than the outside environment, then they will too. So, here's the next part is hand signals versus voice. Remember, guys, dogs understand hand signals more than voice. So although your dog should understand both, when you're first starting off to teach the dog sit, down, stay, use hand signals, because you'll see that the dog will just understand, especially on your walks and stuff like that, because the dogs can, they're looking at everything else. Giving them a visual cue is going to help them out. And then just remember this, is that when you are dog training, your hand signal will override your voice. That's how important it is. So we talked about what is no? No is more of a behavior. No when they jump. No, right? And then saying and then rewarding whenever they stop doing whatever. So no is more for no pee in the house. No, don't destroy this. No, don't do that, right? No is more of like a you don't have to shout it, but you definitely have to do some no. And if you need to give meaning to no, like if the dog, keeps barking, you could use a thing called a pet corrector. Look it up on Amazon. It's just an air can, or you could use a water bottle, or you could use a coins in a can. No, shake it, and then once the dog stops, be like, stop doing the activity and say, good job. It's a really good thing. I have a lot more in the course, but that's how you can start giving value to your word no. Or through, the leash, and that's why it's important to have the dog on leash so that we can teach the dog what no is at first. Which leads me to my next part, though. Corrections are not meant to be painful. They're meant to communicate, because at the end of the day, corrections, when painful, the dog forgets what they're getting corrected for, and then they're just, they're giving you these types of puppy eyes. They're not understanding. You want to give corrections at the same exact time that it happens, and then be more consistent, because consistency trumps pain. So we're talking about good and we're talking about yes. How do we ultimately become the treat? Because you know it just like I do. When you say hello, especially when they're first greeting you, or when you guys are having a moment, your dog is wagging your tail for your love. You want to help the dog understand that by doing sit, down, stay, yes, it gets treats, but it also gets your love. Good job. Start using those goods and feel it. Play around with your tonality. You don't want to be too high on, oh my God, you're so good, blah, blah. But you don't want to be, because, that will geek them out of state, but you don't want to be too low. Oh, hey, good job, bro, good job. You want to find whatever level, whatever cadence to match your dog so that they understand that you're fun, and that by doing things together, we're developing this working relationship, which is what I want to give to you, and that's what the course is all about. So how do we start getting off leash? And I talked about this a little bit before. You want to start having your dog on just a longer leash at first, a heavier one, and then moving to a lighter one. Now, I have a complete off-leash package coming out in September, so look out for that. But at first, what you guys want to do is have the dog out when you say come, be able to have them on a long line so that when you say come and they don't, you can automatically reel them in and give them a treat. That's going to start to give you more off-leash control. You could even start dropping the leash, going to the forest, somewhere, or the tennis courts, okay? And then, using that where the dog starts veering off, you still have access to the leash, say come, pull in right away to build that pattern, and then call your dog in. So the next part that a lot of people have problems with is destruction, is destroying your house. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, the biggest thing behind this is it's our fault. Because we set our dog up to fail. If they don't understand not to destroy, if they're too young, if they're not trained yet, and we just leave them in total freedom, we just allow them free reign of the house, and we come home to craziness, it's our fault. That's why we have to use cages or crates to teach the dog, this is your place, or to at least minimize damage like this until they can earn their freedom. After the crate, you can give them a room, then you can give them more of a room, then you can give them the whole house, but they need to earn it, right? Because with freedom comes privileges. As they become better and better, they can get more and more free. Freedom is awesome. It's the same thing with, at first crate training. Leave your dog out for short periods of time, 15 minutes, an hour, and then increase it so that you can see or so that you can train your dog and give them the potential to not set them up for failure and to give them more and more freedom as they deserve so. If they pee, then just go back to the cage for a little bit so that they understand, or back to the room, whatever you guys want to do, so that they understand they did something wrong and that, they can stop doing that, or they can avoid that and be out all the time just by not peeing or whatever. So let's talk about dog parks, guys. Dog parks are the worst. And the reason being is it teaches dogs to actually be mean, because it takes that one dog to come over, be aggressive with your dog, and then now your dog thinks that all dogs are aggressive. Because at the end of the day, most people at dog parks are not like this in this picture. They're, most of them are on their phone, their dogs are doing one thing, the owners are doing another thing. It's unsupervised. I take my dogs to the dog park, around the dog park, for distractions, because the biggest part, guys, is just because there's another dog or that your dog wants to see that other dog or other person does not matter. It's all about whenever you want to do that. And when you just start seeing other dogs, like if your dog's pulling you and you entice them or you allow them to go to those other people, then guess what? Now you're building, remember, that pattern. And we don't want that. We want them to understand it's all about working with us. And that leads us to the secret of my whole training, which are leader walks. This is going to change your whole relationship with your dog. What is a leader walk? A leader walk is a training walk where you're putting in training, obedience in on your walks, along with tricks, so that you're working the mind and the body at the same time. It's not about being at an end of a 10-foot flexi and you being on the phone. No, it's heel, sit, down, stay, good boy, look at me, go left, go right, good job, heel, good, down, stay. Teaching your dog all this so that the world fades away and you're developing a working relationship. And when you start building this working relationship, now you're able to have this magical connection where the dog fades away, where you're training the mind and the body at the same time. And so now the dog is very tired after our walks. And keep in mind, guys, a tired dog is a good dog. And as you guys are training on your walks, you guys can do 15, 20 minutes of a leader walk, no peeing, no pooing, no nothing, and then break and then let the dog be a dog. But it's important to show the dog, hey, let's have a cool relationship with me, follow my lead, and then, I can give you, a break and allow you just to be a dog. So let's talk about group training. Group training is probably the worst thing that you can do. And the reason being, guys, is that group training is a lot of dogs together learning at the same time. Remember, distractions-proof behavior. So when you get 5 to 10 other dogs and other people just following a treat around, looking at everything else, how much value do you think that you're getting? Not that much. Wouldn't it be better to understand a full course or a full system first, then go into group training like, all right, cool, now I can use this, these distractions, this training time, not learning or, looking to see what my dog is looking at. And it's honestly a waste of time. It's cool for later on, but at first, it's not the best. It's not teaching you or your dog how to listen at home. Remember, guys, training is a way of life. And that's how you start training, at your house, because that's where they're at. So, when you're eating dinner, your dog is in a sit down. When your dog is, downstay, I should say. When people come over, go downstay place or sit. Or, if I'm putting on my shoes, then I'm putting on my dog into a sit. So that it's not just here or there or whenever I have a training time. It's all the time. And now you can start talking your dog through different situations. You have groceries, right? You go to the pet store. You're checking out, and your dog's with you. You put him in a downstay so that you can grab your wallet out. You go back out to the car, you're putting your groceries away. You need to put your dog in a downstay so that you can put your groceries away in the trunk. Your dog is just waiting for you, and then it waits, looks for you. You say okay so that it gets released, and then it gets up and goes up into the car. How cool is that? That's what you guys are developing. You're developing the perfect dog for you based on exactly what you guys want. And so, which leads me to my next point is, toys. Toys are great, especially like balls or tugs, because we can use that as our marker. But what we don't want to do is we don't want to buy like these plush toys, unless your dog's small and it can handle it. But these little plush toys that, stuffed toys, they just get destroyed. And it's teaching your dog that destruction is a good thing. It's much better to give them a rubber ball, a Kong, something heavier that they can chew, bones, whatever, so that, they're not destroying things. And balls or tugs are only to be used for training. Don't leave them out. Because we can start teaching our dog different things, games like frisbee, or go search, go find something, right? Or fetch. These games are powerful. It teaches our dogs to really bond very well, and these games are in the course as well. Another thing that is a very good thing that I've learned is an emergency stop. Whether it's a sit or a down is probably the best, where no matter where you say down, your dog just drops. So if a ball went into the street, if I just say down, my dog will drop down no matter where they're at. So you want to be able to teach this. So, you're just saying down and just teaching a really fast response of down and then treating accordingly. I have this covered as well. So the next thing, guys, is, our dogs sleeping with us. And although I don't have a problem with it, the only time that this becomes a problem is when the dogs think that they're human. And when you start having behavioral problems like destruction or, they're getting a little crazy or whatever, then you need to stop this. Or at least, only allow them to get up on bed when you say. Or, give them timeouts so they can't sleep in your bed when they're acting goofy, when they're going after dogs or whatever. This is another freedom thing. This is something that they should earn. And at the end of the day, guys, what I've learned is that sleeping in the bed isn't always the best. Again, every dog's different. I'm just giving you, just my different things that I've learned, over the years. But most of the time, most dogs, if they start sleeping in the bed, they start getting the wrong idea. Now, every dog's different. I do sleep with some of my dogs sometimes, but it shouldn't be forever, and it shouldn't just be like, this is just my bed. No. Kongs are going to be very good for you guys because what you can do is you can leave this inside the cage, stuffed with peanut butter or cheese, so that the dog starts, focusing on that as opposed to the crate. Or when it's outside, you can give them this. Or, when it's just meant to, when you just need a moment just to hang out, either get a bone or something like this. To make these things last longer, you want to basically fill it with peanut butter, fill it with their dog food, and then freeze it so that it's frozen. They can just lick it all out of there, and you guys have 20 minutes, 30 minutes to do whatever you need to do. Also, Jolly Balls are very good as well. These are for power chewers. The next thing, and I've alluded to this in a previous part, but squeaky balls, Kong squeaky balls, our tennis balls are the best. They have a squeaker in them. We can use this as a reward. We don't have to always say yes, because we could just say good, 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 which will lead to an ultimate yes with the tennis ball. But you don't want to leave these things out for them to chew, because they're just going to destroy it. The other thing is, guys, I always keep at least a mini one in my pocket, so that if I ever need to get my dog's attention really quick, I have that, because you guys know that squeak is pretty magical. So, which leads me to my next part, and that is your dog has a purpose. If I haven't mentioned this enough, if you haven't gotten this, then, I want to stress this, is dogs are all about energy. Dogs are all about purpose. They've come into your life for a purpose. It's just about helping you to develop that purpose, developing that connection so that you can go as far as you want. With the course, it talks to you about 60 videos worth of information so that you can develop this bond into a Lassie, into a Rocky, into a Max, into a super dog status where your dog listens to you whether you have treats, whether you don't have treats, and you're building a working bond so that your dog loves to listen to you because you've established it, because you've worked with them. These little training moments create a bond, a magical bond for life, and that's ultimately what I want to help you with this course and even with this video. I hope this video helped you guys out. So remember, guys, keep away from group training. Or at least use group training at the end. At first, it's kind of hard, to learn everything. This course is going to be a lot better at first, and then you guys can go on to another group trainer, because at the end of the day, you want to learn from an expert. You want to learn from somebody who has a dog like what you want. And if you see my videos, I'm sure you guys know that I know how to train dogs, and I can help you get that same effect. So here's what you guys are going to learn. We're going to learn the 3 words. We're going to learn how to use treats, how to fade off of treats, how to use energy, how to use, the different types of collars, how to pop the collar. This is so important, the art of the pop, so that it's not painful, but it delivers communication, about being consistent, about using engagement, like teaching the dog so that they understand the game. You want this? Great, do this. Crate training, potty training, the different 8 commands: heel, sit, down, stay, come, leave it, go place. How to create the perfect dog through patterns, which patterns to do, distractions, how to stop jumping, how to stop biting, peeing, digging, barking, aggression, rules and boundaries, how to save your grass, teach them in one spot, teach fetch where they come back, frisbee, what I learned from my dogs, energy, and a lot more, guys. And you're going to be able to have it wherever there's an internet connection, because people have trained with me throughout, whether they were in Chicago or worldwide. But once the training session was over, there was a lot of information that sometimes they missed. Now you can go back and actually rewatch the videos anywhere that you have an internet connection so that you can relearn, so that there's a step-by-step process. Just go to the next step and follow along. And you know what, guys? If you complete the whole course, I'll give you guys a certificate as well. But sometimes you need a coach. And this is why I've developed a mobile application, which is really cool to help you train, keep track, keep you focused, share your results, and more. this tool is really cool, and it's going to help you guys out in your training. And if you need live help, I'm going to do a live training event every single month for the people that signed up. I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this, but for right now, it's just so that, everybody can get their questions out. And if you need more one-on-one time, then I'm going to offer you, in the course, you'll see where you can get direct connection to me, where we can do live online training via video anywhere that you're at for a reduced fee. Whew, that was a really long workshop. I hope you guys got a lot out of it. I know that I really enjoyed, giving this to you. So what do I normally charge? Normally I charge $145 per session, per hour, per session, plus sometimes more. My 2-week board and trains are $3,000. I've sold dogs for $25,000, protection dogs, and my friend in California sells them for $100,000. So yes, I know how to train dogs, and this has a lot of value. But you know what? You're not going to pay any of that. Just to recap, guys, you're going to get the whole course. It's 60 videos. Like this, normally, if I would have trained your dog, it would have cost $3,000. For right now, I'm going to give it to you for $149, even though it's going to go up soon. I'm going to give you guys the Master Paw dog training app with this for now, for a whole year. That's $95. I'm going to give you guys the access to the live dog training event that I'm holding every month. That costs $47. The email support. Guys, I'm going to give you full 30 days support. Normally, I charge $50 to $100 per thing that's wrong. So if it was like leash aggression, it would be $50, $100. If it was whatever. You know what, guys? You guys have unlimited for a whole month. And I'm just including that because I want to help you guys train your dogs. Sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes you guys need one-on-one assistance. I get it. Let's help you guys get there. So, if that wasn't enough, I want to put all the risk on me, guys. If this program isn't the best program that you've had, if it doesn't beat group training, or, if you don't like the videos, or you don't like it, if it doesn't work for your dog, the risk is on me. Not only will I give you a 30-day money-back guarantee, I'll let you keep the mobile app, $100 value, free just for trying it out, because I know that this will help you. So, next part, guys, is this is not going to last. Get this course, okay? So go to www.masterpaw.com/course. Use the promo MP Special. I look forward to, helping you train your dog, learn to talk dog, growing this relationship beyond all of your expectations. Remember, guys, this is only while supplies last. I don't know when I'm going to be taking away the app. I know the price is going to stay up. I mean, think about it, guys. I charge $145 for an hour. You guys are getting all of this for the same price. Buy it now. I'll see you guys on the inside. And just like I promised, just for making it all the way to the end, here's where I'm going to give you guys the step-by-step 2-week course, or, what my program, the system that I use to train within 2 weeks. So just go ahead and go to www.masterpaw.com/step-by-step. Whew, that was a lot of information, guys. Can you imagine me coming inside your house and delivering all this information and then leaving like, whoa, that was good, my dog's trained, but what do I remember? Well, now you can go back and you can rewatch it over and over. I hope to see you guys on the inside. I hope this video was beneficial. This workshop was beneficial for you. I hope you guys get something out of it, and I will see you guys on the inside. Thanks so much. My name's Adam with Master Paw.